Let me tell you something that no one says enough. You don't owe anyone your future. Not your boss, not your old friends, not your partner's ex-colleagues, not the version of you that they were comfortable with. If you feel a nudge to move on, to leave the job, to pivot the business, to stop engaging with people who drain you, then honour it and do it quickly. Why? Because it pays to cut your losses and move on fast, beautiful. And that's precisely what I'm going to be covering today. Now, let me tell you, people will always judge what they don't understand. Many years ago, years and years ago, I'll start with an anecdote, right, just to give you an understanding where I'm coming from here. One of my first ever jobs was working in a retail store. It was a really well-known high street employer, and this was one of my first ever retail jobs. Now, the manager had worked there for many years. I think she had retired from another profession and she'd moved into management in this retail job. And another friend of mine also worked there at the time. And when I decided to leave to move on to another role, my old manager told me, now keep in mind I'm a student, not even at university, at school, okay? She told me that I was being irresponsible. Why was she saying that I was being irresponsible? Because she thought that to move on to another employer after I'd been working there for just a year was not going to look good on my resume. But I knew different from that. And let me tell you, I have never had trouble ever getting another position. When my husband started building his dream life and moving into a way of working that was totally against the status quo, his old colleagues rolled their eyes, and every single one of them told him that he was making a huge, massive mistake. Why? It wasn't because we were doing the wrong thing. It wasn't because we were making a mistake. Why? It was because your elevation threatens people who choose to stay small. That's it. That is it. They call it concern. They say they're looking out for you, but what they're really doing deep down is just trying to justify their own inaction. Let me know if you felt that in the comments. If you have had people critique you, tell you they wouldn't do what you're doing, oh, isn't that a bit risky? Let me tell you, I've went on from one to the next, things that people would never dream of doing. They would never dream of it. But my opinion was, I can always get another job in another retail store somewhere. I can always go back. I can always find my feet. But these opportunities only come around once, and I am never passing up on that. I need you to understand that if you're somebody who has high hopes, ambitions, dreams for themselves, and actually a high awareness and intuition of what's actually available for you in your life, the people around about you are not going to understand this. Why is that? It's because you don't fit into the norm. You don't fit the status quo. And people are scared of what they don't know about. They're also, they might like you, love you, support you, and so they're caring for you, and they're like, oh, don't leave a stable job, don't do this, don't do that. I left another career. It was one of those careers where you were pretty much set up for life. Great money, great holidays, great. Until it wasn't so great. And people thought I was absolutely crazy. But I knew I wasn't crazy. And I have never looked back. People can be very threatened when you start to do things that they always wish they had the courage to do for themselves. Now that leads me on to the next point really well. This is a video that's going to give you the reality of the situation. This isn't a video where I'm going to sugarcoat it and I'm going to say, to have success, you need to have good habits, don't make any mistakes, show up every day. I'm going to tell you the real story here. I'm going to give it to you from the social constructs. I'm going to give you a real understanding of what you will be up against when you make the decision. When you make the decision that you are meant for more and you're pursuing it and you're following your intuition and you're taking aligned action. You don't necessarily have to tell anybody what you are doing. And quite honestly, I believe that's the best way. I don't let anybody, apart from my husband, have any idea about what moves I am making in life. My ambitions, my goals, everything, they are completely secret. Why? Because I want to focus my positive, powerful energy on achieving those goals. And I don't want any interference going on with that. So that's definitely something that you'll want to take into consideration, because you've probably heard this metaphor, right? Put a bunch of crabs in a bucket, and if one tries to climb out, the others pull it back down. Well, yeah, that's human nature in stagnant environments. Most people, they are scared to change. So when you grow, when they see your growth, they panic. They throw shade. They pull back. They start to act a bit weird around about you. They remind you of your past. But you're not who you were. And you're not who they are. You're allowed to leave the bucket any time. In fact, beautiful, you're meant to. I want you to let me know in the comments right now if you've ever felt like you are that crab who's ready, she's making her way up, she's leaving the masses, she's making waves, and suddenly you get those little ankle biters, those little crabs pulling you back down. It might not even be as bad as, oh, you shouldn't do that. I don't think, like throwing massive shade. It might just be these subtle little, insidious little energies that you feel, or things are happening that are quite obvious that some distance is being created, or that people are speaking about you but not to you. Let me know if you've ever felt that. If you haven't felt that before, then let me tell you, you're probably not doing bold enough things that are going to take you to where you need to be. Because the minute that you start to evolve and your peers are not ready to go on that journey with you, and they're not ready to support you full on, you're going to feel that resistance. But that's why you need to be strong. Because the people that are meant to be coming along for the journey with you, those people that are also aligned with your growth, they're on the same journey, they are ready to make the moves, they don't have the fear, they know it's going to happen, they know it's going to work out, and they know that they have the commitment and it's going to happen no matter what, because they create their own future. Those are the people that are going to gravitate towards you. But you need to have that time to start to accelerate that growth, and sometimes the crabs will start to fall. It can be lonely, let me tell you, it can be very lonely. I've said this before, it can be very lonely at the top, because at the top there is no time for gossip, there is no time for throwing shade, there is no time for the fake chat. There is only time for authenticity, for developing who you are as a person, for leaning into that beautiful, powerful, strong energy you have, and just being the best version of yourself. That's all there's room for. Because you're going to be tackling and dealing with a whole host of other things that are making you grow into that person you need to be to achieve the things that you were born to achieve. And I'm going to tell you that time is your most powerful asset. Every single day, you stay stuck trying to justify your evolution to people who just don't get it, is a day that you're not building the future you actually want. every single second you spend pondering over whether your friends approve of what you're doing, or your family are going to support you, or this or that, or whatever it may be, every single ounce of energy you spend contemplating all of that and not spending being fully yourself and aligning with that dream future that you have in mind and taking the aligned actions that naturally are going to fall into your path, that is just such a waste of your valuable energy. And that is a day that you're not building the future that you actually want. So I'm giving you permission. Cut the losses. When you're ready, line things up and let that job go. Let the people go. Let your old self-image go. If you've outgrown it, your destiny is waiting. But do you know what? You must walk away from comfort to claim it. And I'm not saying it's going to be hard and difficult and horrible, but it's going to be new. So you need to brace yourself for that, and you need to be prepared for that. Because with growth is always resistance. So I want to just end by reminding you that you have the power, you have the strength, you have it in you. And if you're ready to stop apologizing and actually start rising, and you want support to do that and make it happen, then the spark activation is your next step. You can grab your spark activation in the description box below. It is your personalized deep dive, and it's going to help you to identify what or who is draining your power and show you exactly how to break free for good. So you can find out more about that at shop.mrsmanifestation.com/spark or via the description below. But until next episode, I want to comment below with your biggest takeaway. And I want to remember that you have the power, but it's time to cut your losses. It's time to move on. It's time to start your evolution. And the sooner you start, the faster you're going to get there, beautiful. So let's make it happen together. Again, the link for Spark Activation is down below. Make sure you check that out. And I look forward to seeing you there and in the next episode. Have an amazing day. You've got this.